All right, everybody, we'll get going in a couple more minutes here, just making sure there's no late arrivals. And we'll also be recording this and sending this out to everybody early tomorrow just to make sure that if you need anything, you'll be able to share this with other fellow board members. All right, so let's get going. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Avram Dumchin. I am the Southeast Territory Business Manager for Sports Illustrated Play. I work with all of our organizations in the Southeast, which many of you reside. There are some of you in Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. Don't worry, we'll still help you out. There's actually a different point of contact for your organization, and I will be providing that at the end of this call. Also on the call tonight is my colleague, Pete Eichner. At Sports Illustrated Play, we have customer success engineers whose sole focus is to ensure the smooth transition of all new customers to Sports Illustrated Play. And Pete is that for the Southeast. Pete will be available if people have questions as I go through this presentation. There's a little chat box in the GoToMeeting bar. And if you'd like, feel free to fire away a question, either privately or to everybody, and Pete will be more than happy to answer that question for you. And at the end, if there are some additional questions, I'll take them from everybody at the end. And again, people are muted, but you can use that chat box as a means to get any questions you have answered. All right, so what we're going to accomplish tonight. First off, we're going to introduce who Sports Illustrated Play is to make sure everybody is aware. From there, we're going to discuss the partnership between Sports Illustrated Play, Dixie Youth Baseball, and Dixie Softball Inc. We're also going to chat about what that means for each of you as franchises and also as districts and states. We're going to talk about the problems that this system is going to solve for you and how we're going to make your life easier running your organizations, leagues, districts, and states. Also, too, I want to give you a little bit of backstory about why we're here. So we're going to talk about who we are in a minute, but why we're here. About April, May 2015, Wes and Obi reached out to our company because, as some of you know, there were issues with the prior provider for websites for both Dixie Youth Baseball, Dixie Softball, and all franchise organizations. And when the websites went down, Wes and Obi said, hey, look, we're in a tough spot. We need help getting back up and running. And within 16 hours, Sports Illustrated Play had websites fully functional for both Dixie Baseball, Dixie Softball, and they were in a good spot. And then from there, we just discussed a partnership for the future for both sides, not only for the organizations as a whole, but for each franchise underneath there. So I just wanted to give a little perspective. So with that said, let's dive in here. And just again, by a show of hands, I want to make sure everybody can see my mouse moving and can hear me. So if people could just raise your hands in the GoToMeeting box, just so I know that I'm coming through. Great. Thank you, Beverly. Appreciate that. Chris, again, thank you very much. All right. So without further ado, who is Sports Illustrated Play? And why is Dixie making this change and instituting this process? So Sports Illustrated Play has over 13 years experience as an industry leader providing best-in-class league management systems to organizations across the country and in Canada. Um, our whole goal is to make your life easier when running your organizations. And we want to provide you with as many tools as possible in one place to simplify those things for you, whether it be online registration, websites, scheduling, background checks, tournament management, financial tracking, or communications. We want to make your life easy running your organizations, districts, and states. And Dixie came to us trying to solve two problems. First and foremost, as a Dixie Youth Baseball or Dixie Softball organization, you have to submit roster information each year as a franchise. So what Dixie wants to do is provide a system to simplify roster submissions. What they also want to do is provide those best-in-class solutions that we discussed that Sports Illustrated Play offers, and they want to do it in a very easy and intuitive way so that it will only help their organizations. And that's why we're here, to provide easy solutions under one roof. So what this means for you is that you have two possible scenarios. One, you can use the Sports Illustrated Play platform as a means to submit your rosters each year. Or you can use it as a complete league management solution to do your online registration and in the click of a button, submit your rosters, to communicate with your participants, to run reports and manage finances, manage a website, generate and publish a schedule and do results, and also optionally do your background checks all out of one system. So first and foremost, let's focus on online registration. So our systems, with the help of somebody like Pete, are completely customizable to each organization's needs. So each organization has the different divisions they offer, the different cost structures, the different questions you want to ask, and even rules like requirements of birth certificates, following in on a boundary map, and even potentially doing payment plans. And our system allows you to do all of that in a very easy and intuitive way. We also allow for accepting payments online via credit card. We have what we refer to as Easy Merchant. Again, in-house, you don't have to use a third party, and we help reconcile to make it nice and easy to keep track of the dollars brought in and where they came from. When your registrations are coming in, our system slots children accordingly based on their Dixie League age. So when a parent registers their child, they're slotted for the appropriate division. From there, you have the ability to run reports on all of your participants and the data collected, including all of your financials. You also have the ability to build your teams and rosters directly within this platform. And in the click of a button, submit those rosters to Dixie when you're ready. Each franchise will also get a website, again, managed out of the same backend system. This website is great in terms of ease of use. So everything that we do is done with the volunteer in mind. We work with over 4,000 organizations across the country, and we know that 95% of our users are volunteers who aren't IT professionals. So websites can be daunting, and we wanted to take that fear away. So we formatted our websites in a way that the average person can go in there and easily update as they need to and know that they have a deep team from Sports Illustrated Play to help them if they need assistance. So content's very easy and straightforward to manage. We also, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but we have scheduling tools within our software, and that integrates directly within our website where you're able to enter scores and do standings and lots of great stuff in an easy to do way. You can also integrate social media with our site. And we like to think of our websites as revenue generators for organizations. So within our sites, you're able to display, your organizational sponsors. So we don't put banner ads or anything like that on here. We let each organization sell sponsorship to different local organizations, and there's multiple avenues to display those sponsors on your organizational and, as we'll see in a minute, team websites. So when we talk about teams, when you've created your teams, you have the ability to activate your teams to make them show on your public website. And each team gets a connected website of their own that filters right up and down from your organizational website. So in the team websites, team administrators, coaches, team parents, can manage the day-to-day of their team, whether it's posting a news article or photo albums, keeping track of who's RSVP'd to games or practices, or even creating their own practices, which would then automatically send a communication out to parents. Now, these websites are public, but there's also a private side of the websites where coaches can privately communicate with their team via email or text. Parents have a private chat function that we call team chat when they're logged into their team website. They also have the ability to tell the coach whether or not they're coming to games, and coaches can even share news articles or photo albums in a private way too for logged in members. Now, I know there are some league and district commissioners, or I'm sorry, state and district commissioners here tonight. So when we talk about scheduling, there's two sides of it. The first side is the organization, the franchise. So you have your regular season and you need to create your schedule, and you can do that directly through our platform. You put in your field availability, your blackout dates, your team blackout dates, and then all the criteria that goes into making a schedule. So your Ozone division plays 20 games. They don't play back-to-backs. They have a maximum of 3 games a week. They don't play on Easter Sunday. You throw in all of your criteria, and our system will spit out a game schedule for you with the dates, the teams, and the locations. And you could always update it before you publish it on the website, but know that we do take into account coach conflicts. So if you have coaches who are in multiple divisions, we can account for that directly within the platform. Now, the best part about our scheduling, again, is that it integrates with the different things that we do. So when you publish your schedule, it automatically shows on the website. So the days of managing your schedule in one place and uploading a PDF to a website go away. And when you do something like that where you're integrating those two processes together, it allows you to communicate out weather-related issues to your parents in a very quick to do fashion. So we have a field closures rainout button, and in one click you can send an email, a text, and a push notification, and we'll talk about the app in a little bit, directly to everybody impacted. It will also put an alert right up on the website and allow you to update the schedule based on additional field availability. So it's all the things that go into a schedule in one place, whether it be creating it, managing it, communicating those weather-related issues, or even entering game scores, which will automatically do standings. Now, the second side of it, tournament scheduling. Some of you, and this affects everybody, whether you're a state, a district, or even a franchise, you have to do tournament or playoff scheduling. So if it's your regular season, you need to do a single or double elimination bracket. You can create that directly within our platform. If you're a state and you need to do a schedule for the state tournament, we do single, double, and round robin brackets directly within the platform. You have the ability to display them, to enter scores, to show results. We even have the ability to do statistics directly through this platform, again, all under the same roof. And we also, and we will be talking about this more in the future, have the ability to live score games through our app referred to as the iScore app. Team wall. So we've talked about organizational and team websites. We've also talked about scheduling. We wanted to not just provide value for organizations, we want to provide value for your parents and coaches too. And the best way to engage them is through an app. Everybody's on their phone all the time. We thought what better way than to let them do stuff team related right through their phone. So we have the Team Wall app where parents can see their schedule, let coaches know whether or not they can come, privately communicate with other parents about things like ride shares. Coaches can email and text their team. They can add practices or events directly within the app and have communications automatically go out to parents. If there's a weather-related change and the organization cancels a game or practice, that too gets filtered down right to the parent through the app via a push notification. And this app is available on both the Apple and Android store. Now, another great aspect of what we do is integrated background checks, again, directly within the same platform. It's a completely integrated, intuitive process where your coaches take care of all the work. So the days of collecting paperwork to do background checks, where you're asking somebody to put their social security number on a piece of paper and then you have to mail it somewhere and wait a few weeks for the results, those go away. Within our platform, when someone registers to be a coach or a volunteer role, and we offer volunteer registration directly within our platform, when someone registers to be a volunteer, if you require that role to do a background check, we can actually make them do the background check right then and there in a safe and secure way. So for those of you worried about entering a social security number online, we encrypt it so that there is no security risk whatsoever, but we are making sure that we are capturing the social, because that's the most important part of doing a good background check. From there, we integrate it where you're able to manage results. So if there's an issue, if someone has something that shows up on their record, you're able to manage that directly within our system and make sure that you're not putting somebody on a team through our roster management tool on a team that shouldn't be. We also have a badging system. So if you want to transparently show your parents which coaches or volunteers can be on the field, you can absolutely do that through our badging system, where we can capture the coach's photo ID at the point of registration, and you can print a pass out showing that coach's name, their role, coach, their team, the division, directly on a pass so that parents know who should be on the field at all times. We even provide each organization with their first pass kit, which includes this really cool hard stock paper that's unbendable, and also if you spill something on it or you leave it in the wash, it won't run, and we even give you the lanyards too for the coaches to wear. So we've talked about our online registration, data management, and payment collection system. We've talked about communication, both at the organizational and team level. We've talked about websites for the organization and team. We've talked about scheduling, background checks, and even our app. And now I want to walk you through our process. So let's say this is something that interests you. You think this is going to benefit your organization for more than just submitting your rosters, but for using this as a full league management solution. What's the process? So in today's world, all Dixie Youth Baseball franchises have a system created already for them. Dixie softball systems will be added in the near future. But in today's world, if you're a Dixie Youth Baseball program, you already have a system. You're going to be able to reach out to us, and you'll get our contact info in a minute. And from there, we'll work with you on setting up your system and familiarizing you with our system to make sure you're comfortable. We'll even do an individual demonstration if you'd like to do that after the fact. From there, after you've gone through the trial and you feel comfortable with the system, we offer, again, additional setup to make sure that the system is set up as you want it, and we even give you a free audit of the system to make sure everything is perfect before you activate the system and get up and running with us. Once you're up and running, we offer free training and support 7 days a week for every single organization and administrator of the system. And you could add other board members, other board volunteers to the system on the administrative side, each with their separate level of access so that they can do what they should be doing based on their role within your organization. That training is extended to not just the primary account holder, but all administrative users. And again, we're available 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 9 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5 p.m. We are on the East and West Coast, so a lot of you are right in between, and we get you on both sides. And you also will have either myself as your account manager, or as you'll see in a little bit, Craig Pika as your account manager if you're in some of our central territories. Now, for district, state, or region commissioners, you will get website and scheduling tools free for your first year. This is a great way, most of the state systems are already set up. If you have a district or region and you need a system, we can help you out with that too. And you're able to provide news and information and again, manage your tournament scheduling directly through the platform. And we even talked about the ability to potentially live score these games too through the iScore app. For the franchises, we offer 3 different options. So our first option is registration specific. It's not including of websites or scheduling. That is $49 annually. Our middle package, our premium plan, that includes the online registration, of course, but also the website and scheduling tools, and that is typically $299 annually. For all Dixie organizations, whether you're baseball or softball, that activate by March 1st, that $299 fee is waived for your first year. So you get a free look at our website and scheduling tools. We also have a Premium Plus plan. And the difference between Premium and Premium Plus is we have an in-house graphic designer who will work with you on the look and feel of your site. Typically, if you were to go and hire a graphic designer, unless you have one on your board, there would be a cost in excess of $300 for those services. So there is some value there. And for your first year, it would just be $300 because you get the $299 waived for year one. We also offer free domains and email addresses to go along with it on both the Premium and Premium Plus plans. So if you wanted SaratogaDixie.org, that is something we can go out and get for you. Or if you already have a domain, we can take your existing domain and help you point it to the new system. And Tommy, I do see your question there about how much state websites will be after year one. That is something that is still up for discussion between Sports Illustrated Play and both Dixie Youth Baseball and Dixie Softball, based on participation from state websites. Typically, it would be $299 annually, but we are working through that with both Wes and Obi. So again, waived for the first year for everybody, state or franchise, by March 1, 2016. And you don't have to start, I know most of you will have started taking registration by that point if you're not a state, if you are a franchise. But activating just means taking your site live with us so that you have a functional website and you have content on there, and you could potentially start taking registrations with us. And there are no termed agreements with us. This is something I want to make sure. So ultimately, we want people to use our system that see value in it and we're solving a problem for you. If for whatever reason it's not working, we don't want to hold anybody hostage, and there are no opt-out fees with us. So the annual fee would kick in 1 year from activation for the following year. And again, we offer support 7 days a week. Now, in terms of the next steps, and I promise I will answer some more questions shortly, but in terms of the next steps, I'm going to send this out tomorrow to everyone who came and also those who did not attend. But there are 2 different points of contact depending on what state your organization is in. So myself, I handle the Southeast. So for Dixie organizations, that would include Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas, Virginia, and Tennessee. I will be your main point of contact to help you get up and running or explore these systems. Craig handles our central territories, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas. Craig will be your point of contact if you would like to learn more or have that follow-up demonstration or conversation. And I will be getting that this info out to everybody after our meeting. So with that said, there are some questions that have come through. and I'm more than happy to answer them. So let's start with Sherry. What system requirements are needed to use the website? So in terms of using the website, um, we do ask for a couple of commercial things if you're going to do registration with us, because we want to be able to direct deposit funds to you if you're processing payments, and we would ask for an electronic payment authorization form and also a W-9 form, and we do have a service agreement. But in terms of requirements needing to use the website, you just have to be either a franchise organization or a state or district or region, and we can help you get up and running. So Ruthie, in terms of do district directors pay as well? Districts would be able to get a system for free for your first year, and just like with the states, what the annual fee would be prior would be a conversation for what we have with Wes in the near future. So we'd have more on that shortly. Quinn, can you enter a multi-year contract, and if not, do you feel the current pricing will be mirrored in future years? Great question. So we do not do multi-year pricing. However, we do not raise our fees for people in the future. So the price you get today, where it's $299 annually, $2.50 per registration, 3.29% credit card processing, and $12 per background check. Diane, I do see that one. Um, those prices will not change. We will not we've never had an increase to a current customer. We would never change anything for a current customer without their consent. So the only potential thing I could see is if we start offering different tools with different packages and there's different pricing structures. But if you enter into a premium plan, you will be grandfathered into that pricing for as long as you utilize the system. And again, for those, I'm going to go back here, and this might be hard to see, but so $299 annually for the premium plan, $2.50 per player registration, 3.29% credit card processing, and a $12 background check. So another question that I've seen come through, if we only wanted to use this system for rosters and schedules, is that possible? So for schedules, that tool is only available if you are using it as a premium plan. So if you are just using it to submit rosters, that is a free service, but it's purely to provide your rosters to Dixie. All right, so let's see here. So Todd, would there be a way to download all the names, addresses that we put in last year into the new system? So that might be a question for Dixie because this is a separate system, so we don't necessarily have that data. However, once you get going with us, it becomes a historical database where all that information is stored for you for the life of using our system, but it might be tough because that data was captured in a separate system in years past. Freddie, you asked about being able to use our system a la carte. So in terms of a la carte, we do try to have the different plans based on the different needs of people. A typical question is separating out the scheduling tool and not using the website, but in today's world, those are something that come together. And Sherry, I do see you had a qualifying question about the requirements. In terms of the actual platform, Windows, Firefox, Google Chrome. I know that was an issue before in terms of your browser, your Windows provider, etc. That is not an issue with our system, so not something that you have to worry about. Hey, Michael, great question there. So in terms of using the system offline to be able to register people when the internet is not available. So this is a complete online solution. We do have many organizations that will still hold in-person registration dates. Unfortunately, you will need internet to be able to have a laptop there for people to enter their registration information. However, for 10, 15 bucks, you can get a hotspot to be able to have wireless internet at those sites. Tony, another great question. Are there storage limits? No, there are not. And that goes for the content on the website. That goes for the team websites, for communication. There are no limits to the things you can do within our system. Matt, another good question about the process of uploading rosters. So there's really two options. One, there will be a new, if you are not using this system as a online registration league management system and just that of uploading and submitting your rosters, there will be a new CSV Excel file that you will have to fill out, again, with the purpose of making the process easier. So there will be a new file, and all you'll have to do is put your player data onto that file and upload it into the new system. That'll be it. If you are using this system for online signups, you will be able to submit your rosters to Dixie in the click of a button. You don't have to create a spreadsheet with all the data in there. You literally click a button and it gets sent right to Dixie. Are you going to be able to download pictures onto the sites? Absolutely. So our websites have the ability to have slideshows, to have pictures on the news articles, and also to display photo albums. And those three levels, whether it's on a slideshow, in a news article, or in a photo album, go for both our organizational and our team websites. All right. Any other questions? All right, so we got a couple other questions here. So we play inter-county games with other Dixie leagues that may not sign up. Can the scheduling tool handle this? Absolutely. So if you're creating a schedule, it's based on the teams that you put into your system. So Michael, in your system, you would have your in-house teams, and then you would have your intra-county games, and you're able to put the teams that are participating from your county as teams within a specific division so that you can add them to a schedule for as little or as many games as you need. You could even, along with being able to auto-generate a schedule, you can manually create games if you are already pre-agreed to the teams, the times, and the location. Sean, that's a great question. So you asked, if we do not use the online registration, can we also use the web and schedule management system? And the answer there is yes, you can. However, there won't be any player data in there for you to manage from a communication, reporting, or roster generation standpoint, so you would need to upload your rosters. So Denise, great question. If you make a mistake, so if there's a field that's missing or incorrect, the system will let you know that it's incorrect, and you would just simply need to update that field. Now, Ruthie, that's another great question. So how do we get started? So if you are a Dixie Youth Baseball system, you should have, or if you are Dixie Youth Baseball, you should have received an email with your login credentials. If not, you can give me a call tomorrow morning and we can help you get started. Typical process to get up and running can take as short as a day, as long as a couple weeks. It really depends on the time that you have to put forward to it. But we do have a very fast onboarding process because of dedicated account managers like myself and customer success engineers like Pete. Chris, that's another great question. So you add, and Ruthie, I apologize. I see you're from Dixie Softball. So for those of you from Dixie Softball, if you go to siplay.com, so I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to bring up my computer browser. So hold on for me one moment here. But if you go to Dixie, if you go to siplay.com, let me bring over my browser real quick. So siplay.com. So those of you from Dixie Softball, head over here. And there's going to be a button top right which says free 30-day trial. From here, you can put all of your information in, and this will start the process of getting your system created. And then from there, I can send you our setup checklist where we work with you hand in hand to make sure you're nice and comfortable in the system, and also to assist you in the setup process. All right. So Chris, you had mentioned iScore. You want me to elaborate a little bit on that? So iScore is part of the Sports Illustrated Play family. And what iScore entails, and let me actually bring this down over here so we can take a quick peek. Oh, actually, it might not be the easiest thing to show it through here, so I'll just talk through it. What iScore allows you to do is live score your games. So if any of you have watched a Major League Baseball game on MLB.com, you have the ability to, as a coach, you can go in there and say this pitch was a ball, this pitch was a strike, enter hits, enter, if someone walked, you have the ability to do that. And your parents will have the ability to view it on the iScore Cast, which is a website and also an app. It's a free app for parents. And they're able to, if they're not at the game, be able to keep in touch with what's actually going on at the field by watching the game cast. And the beauty of what we're doing is that in the very near future, we're going to be integrating that into our Team Wall mobile app. So it's all done in one place for everybody. And another thing we do with iScore is because of the connectivity, all of the rosters, your teams are searchable. So in the click of a button, Chris, you'd be able to find your team and have your rosters right there so you don't have to re-enter all of your players in there. Diane, you asked if our board does not choose to utilize your program, is there a fee for uploading rosters? No, that is free. If you're just using it to upload rosters, there is no cost. So Todd, you asked about the process of pulling names from rosters to do tournament affidavits. So we do have a all-star rostering process directly within our system. You can print rosters through this platform, and we are talking with both DYB and Dixie Softball in terms of how they want to handle all-stars. So we should have more on that in the very near future that we will be relaying out to everybody. Sean, you asked if we're hiring. You could always on our website we have some information about careers. By all means, feel free to head over there. I know we are actively hiring. Joe, the great question. Will this webinar be available? Yes. So this webinar is being recorded, and what I will do is I will shoot out an email to everyone who attended and those who were unable to attend with the link to view the recording, so that if you wanted to be able to see it after the fact or share it with others, you will be able to. So you should be able to get that, I would say, by no later than tomorrow. So Diane, you asked if there are other organizations that use this program in softball. I'd be happy to chat with you about some of the other organizations that are currently using this system, whether they're other Dixie softball programs or even just other organizations in your area. And that's a big thing for everybody to take away from this. We work with over 4,000 organizations throughout the country. Not all of them are baseball or softball programs. Your parents, your coaches, your fellow board members might be familiar with Sports Illustrated Play already by their affiliation with other organizations. So Sean, that's a great question. So with leagues using other online registration software, can we put player profiles for league management? So are you referring to simply using this as a website? If so, I mean, you could ultimately put whatever content you want on here. But if you are doing online registration somewhere else, you won't have the ability to manage player data directly within our system. Alrighty. Any other questions I can answer for people, or let's see. So Ruthie, that is a great question. So you asked during the state and tournaments and World Series, are there going to be tournament brackets available for us to download? The beauty of our system is that when you create a bracket, it is viewable to the general public and it can be downloaded. So yes, absolutely. The both Dixie National and states and regions will have the ability to have websites to display that stuff publicly. Yeah, Freddie, I mean, that's huge. Roster integration is a huge selling point. What our system really does is it simplifies the process of capturing registration information and providing it to Dixie, all while giving you usable tools throughout the season for both your board, your coaches, and your parents. And the beauty again is we're doing everything as you see here: public websites, scheduling, communication, stats, team rosters, registration, scheduling, all under one roof. Alrighty, well, if unless there's anything else, I just definitely want to thank everybody for their attendance tonight. I know sometimes doing something at evening is tough. Everybody's got little ones. So thank you so much for your time this evening. Again, we'll be sending a follow-up information with the slideshow presentation and a video recording so that you'll be able to share it with your fellow board members. And please, by all means, don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Craig tomorrow with any additional questions anyone may have. And I'll leave you with my contact info up here for a couple minutes if you do want to write it down without having to wait for the email to go out with our contact info. So please, by all means, do not hesitate to shoot me an email tonight, shoot Craig an email tonight, call us tomorrow. We are here to help and answer any additional individual questions you may have. All right, everybody, thank you so much and have a great evening.